I consider myself to be a man who is unpredictable. I like to make sure that my foes or my opponents never know what my next move shall be. And you know what? It's fun because with a setup like this, you can really leave your opponents confused and then just do some wizardry things while you have a melee setup. Wait, but how are you doing that wizardry stuff when you have no catalyst, Scrub? Well, you know what? Confused version of me, let me tell you. It's the Carian Sorcery Sword, and it is really fun to use on the off-stock or halstoc setup. So you have a halberd in your right hand and then the Carian Sorcery Sword in your left hand. And so the halstoc already is a really powerful setup because with good practice and proper usage, you can get some good roll catches. The halberd has a really good chase down, and it's just it's a good way to run melee. But the cool thing about the Carian Sorcery Sword is that it's a catalyst as well, so you can cast sorceries with it, and that just adds more flavor to the halstoc setup. So you can run things like the Carian sword sorceries, like man, wow, all of a sudden I just forget all the sorcery names. I know there's like a Carian Piercer, Gavel of Haima. There's Carian Slicer. There's plenty of things that you can run on the sorcery sword to include more mix-ups when fighting people with the halstoc. So it's fun. This is a level 150 build. I got 52 intelligence and then I have 40 dexterity. Since I'm trying to maximize as much as I can the sorceries, I have 52 intelligence, and then I have the Graven Mass School talisman, the one that greatly boosts your sorceries. And then the reason why I have 40 dex is because of that casting speed. So with 40 dex plus the Radagon's icon, you get an extra 30 virtual dexterity, which can increase your casting speed. So it's good to have that extra casting speed, especially if you're trying to pull off combos with this halstoc wizardry hybrid kind of thing. So it's fun. It's fun. It's definitely worth using. While I think this is more of an optimal duelist setup, it's fun to use in invasions because you don't have to use just like melee sorceries. Like I have things like Swift Glintstone Shard, and I have Comet. I have a Gravitational Missile. You know, I could use nothing but Gravitational Missile and I would win a lot of invasions. It's such a cracked out sorcery. And then I have other things as well. I forgot what the other things are, but it is what it is. But yeah, since, you know, we're invading as a bad red man, we have to use things that do a lot of damage, like Cannon of Haima is a good one as well. Sometimes you just want to bonk somebody in the face. You have a hyper armor, not on the initial startup of Gavel of Haima, but shortly after you cast it. So, very fun setup to run. Shout out Captain Levi for inspiring me to try this build. He was doing it with a katana, a great katana in the left hand, cold infused, and then the thrusting sword in the right hand. So it doesn't matter whether you put it in your left or right hand. It seems that you can run a similar setup with the great katana as well, which I wouldn't expect. So it's pretty cool. So shout out Captain Levi. I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel in this description below. He's notorious for creating very fun combo stuff in Elden Ring PvP, so definitely worth if you're trying to do cool combo things and, you know, make people rage quit, because that's what we do as bad red men. We make these innocent little PvEers quit and then have them assume that we do heinous things like I don't know if YouTube will let me say this. No, I'm not going to say it, but they assume the worst of us, which is insane. And as much as I want to address the Elden Ring community, I will save that for another time. Anyways, that's a big tangent. Hey, I didn't introduce myself yet. What's up? My name is Scrub. I'm an Elden Ring invader. I've started invading in the beginning of 2023, and yeah, it's fun being a PC Wi-Fi warrior when you have 100 extra milliseconds of latency added from Steam and easy anti-cheat, and being a Wi-Fi warrior. You really struggle, and that's okay. We make the most out of our struggles. So if you're struggling right now, whether in Elden Ring or in life, Don't worry about it. Just get better internet. No, I'm just kidding. You will prevail. But yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are enjoying the invasion content, and thanks so much for watching. This is like I said, a dexterity intelligence build. I have a bunch of other weapons and talismans used for it, but I didn't use anything other than the setup, other than like using the Crimson Seed talisman to you know, just get that extra heals. But yeah, but since this is a halstoc wizard hybrid kind of thing, you can easily just come in and disrupt some things if people are unsuspecting that you are a wizard, which is, you know, it's not hard to guess who is a wizard or not, but it's fun. You can just come in and just comment people down and be like, bam, goodbye. Anyways, but yeah, let me go over the talisman setup that I have. So like I said, I have the Graven Maskell talisman to further enhance my sorceries, which is needed. While I don't know the sorcery scaling of the Carian sorcery sword, it is pretty high, and definitely not like Lusat's staff, but I think I read a comment on one of my previous videos. Someone was saying it's like 300 in sorcery scaling, which is pretty crazy. So it is pretty powerful when you can get as much intelligence poured into it as you can. But since this is a hybrid of, you know, casting and then having like cold infused weapons, we have Radagon's icon, because 40 dexterity, bam, 30 extra dexterity, bam, you can cast things at max cast speed. Well, actually no, because you can also use the Zor staff, and then that's like the max casting speed. So that would be fun. I yet have to try that. But yeah, then I got, like I said, Radagon's icon, and then I have the Bull Goat talisman as my third slot. With my armor, I have, and the Bull Goat's talisman, I have 68 poise. And so without it, I think I have like, what, 40 something? Not that much. So since I'm kind of squishy-ish, this armor has good high magic defense, but it's not really the tankest of armor. So not only do you have to play a little bit more carefully, excuse me, you have to be mindful of your spacing, your timing, your attack windows, and you can't just like blindly trade into things, because sure, like you can poise through like the second swing of either like a katana, a twin blade, or a thrusting sword with a one-handed halberd. But otherwise, I wouldn't be relying on poise, because the problem is, like, in Elden Ring PvP right now, like that, not only is the meta just Swift Slash, Blind Spot, and plenty of other things, the elephant in the room is Hyper Armor, obviously. So many people just monkey mash out of hit stun because they have the privilege of doing so with Hyper Armor. And I know I could obviously just respec this build into, you know, allowing myself to have more intelligence with, you know, this build and just tank through things. You know, that'd be good for casting as well, especially Gavel of Haima. But you know what? We like to look cool. We like to look cool. My fashion is absolutely hard in this build. So yeah. Anyways, here we are at the Gravesite Plain. I know as you continue through the DLC, Ansbach says that, you know, there's nothing more terrifying than one who wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men, which I think is arguable. I think having 3 pumpkin heads chase you down in an open field is more terrifying than, you know, Miquella's motives. And I had to run. I was in an open field, and I was like, oh, hell no, fam. There's only one thing that can help me out here, and that is this guy to my left, the Fire Golem. I think in an interview, Miyazaki, or like the team called the Fire Golems Mitchell. I could be wrong, but you know what? I'm just going to stick with it, and I'm just going to call these guys Mitchell. It just seems fitting. You know, what's Mitchell Russo from Hannah Montana up to now? If anyone has updates, let me know. That dude played his role well in Hannah Montana. Anyways, yes, but yeah, there's nothing more terrifying than 3 pumpkin heads just chasing you down. But luckily, since we have a mediator amongst us, the fire golems can do damage to you too, by the way. Since we have a mediator among us, that allows us to split the 3-man team into separate areas, which grants me the window to laser one of them down and then roll catch, and then bam, the host decides to run. The other guy is stuck trying to roll through the fire stomps that this Mitchell is doing, and then bam. See, now the playground is even, and now I have somewhat of an advantage, but I don't know why. I thought these guys would be a little bit more coordinated, but they really weren't. They really weren't. But yeah, I don't know why the host decided to just run back to the start of where you start the DLC. So we're just gonna fast forward to that. I think he was gonna go for the revive on his teammates, but luckily this Hornsent guy, the Curse Blade, yeah, they're called Curse Blades. The Curse Blade guy was a disruptor, and so this, you already know, with the enemy that humbles you the moment you walk into the DLC and says, you know, I'm just gonna do an RKO on you and do kickflips and stuff. Having that as my teammate is kind of cracked, and since we have a halberd which has a really amazing chase down R1, it's like, bam, that's what you get for trying to converge on me. 3 pumpkin heads, more like 3 doo-doo heads. Get it? Because they're bad at this game. Get roll caught into oblivion. You know I have to give him the point down, because you can't just run from me like that. I will eventually catch up with you. As Thanos once said, I am inevitable. And then Iron Man said, I'm Batman. That's how it goes, right? Never let them know your next move. Anyways, yes, here we are at the Limgrave Agheel Lake. I think my experience with these kinds of open field battles, it's 50-50. I'll either just be an absolute like ninja and just delete people, or I will just get absolutely obliterated and die quickly. So it's a 50-50 chance, but since, you know, this is an invasion video, I'm not going to show you just videos of, or I mean invasions that I lose. Like, I obviously got to show some good content like that. Get bonked. Get absolutely bonked. I love Gavel of Haima because it's the only hyper armor option that I have in this build, and then luckily I have things like Swift Glintstone Shard as well. So that's what you get for trying to gank me in an open lake, using your fun twirly pickaxe, not a pickaxe, whatever your Death Knight axes are and whatever. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about being a wizard, you can just come in and spawn and then just disrupt players thinking that they have an opportunity to heal. Nope, here I am. Never let them know your next move. Like I said, very fun duelist setup. I don't know if I will continue to use this build as like an invasion build or just bring it into the Coliseum and try to figure out as many combos as I can, but you know, maybe I'll do something similar to this, but it is what it is. I don't know why people decide to just attack out of hit stun, especially when it takes, like, when you're hitting that kind of L2 and just taking a lifetime, 3 to 10 business days to use your L2 right in front of my face. I don't understand the mindset behind that. But you know what? I actually do have an argument towards that. Like, Elden Ring PvP is the reject fighting game. I was at my brother's house across the country a couple weeks ago, and he introduced me to Mortal Kombat, and boy, did I get my ass kicked. I got my stuff rocked. I got my ass handed to. He really demonstrated never let them know your next move. And I can understand why fighting games are so complicated, and there's so many different combos and so many different ways that you can fight in Mortal Kombat. There's like lists upon lists upon lists, and that's just like, how do people get into that? I know Mortal Kombat's been around since like back in the day, or I'm not gonna say back in the day. I know, I look at my analytics. I know some of y'all are in the 35 to 44 age range. I'm sorry. I don't mean to upset y'all, but yeah, go take care of your family and do your job and not procrastinate and watch Elden Ring videos. But that's what I'm probably gonna do when I'm 35 to 44. Anyways, yeah, I mean, Elden Ring is the knockoff fighting game. I mean, the fighting game rejects. So a lot of people don't know how to fight when it comes to things like this. So I try to give people grace, but there's also so many things in this game that need to be changed. It's unfair how this game can grant some players with no fighting experience a huge advantage. Like wizards, for example, you can cast Star Shower just over and over and over. And then let's talk about you know, I don't want to talk about it now. I want to talk about somewhere Blind Spot and Swift Slash later. But for now, I just want to commentate on this invasion because it was a crazy invasion. Luckily, with the help of this Deathrite bird, I was able to just kind of mow through these players, but I think the Deathrite bird kind of carried me through this invasion. But sometimes you just got to take advantage of the PvE that's around you, man. Like, we're outnumbered. I was really upset that we couldn't get a max player count in PvP sessions or multiplayer sessions. To have four cooperators and 2 invaders would be super nice, and then or it could go down to like a 3v3 as well. That would be super nice, just in like the Dark Souls 3 days. But the problem is I wasn't around when Dark Souls 3 was out. Elden Ring is my first Souls game, so I didn't really get to experience like the peak PvP experience that Dark Souls 3 had. And I know there's a lot of hiccups in it according to a lot of older players and a lot of older invaders, but it would be nice because there's hardly any advantage that the invader has. So yeah, one thing I need to address now is this Ash of War Blind Spot. I think the backhand blades, or at least the Ashes of War that come with it, Swift Slash and Blind Spot, I think they need to be extremely nerfed, or they just need to be simply removed from the game. Like, I don't like combating against it. It's funny, I used Swift Slash in a video a couple weeks ago, and I got absolutely flamed for it. And what I mean by flamed, like, people were saying like, oh, F off, like Jesus told me to leave a dislike, or probably because I just talk about Jesus in my videos because I'm a Christian. I think that's a different thing. But the fact that like people will say like you're a bad person for using Swift Slash, or you're able-bodied, you don't need to use Swift Slash, making fun of disabled people for as long as you have hands, you shouldn't be using Swift Slash or whatever. Like that, can we talk about your language? First of all, can we talk about your language? One, calm down. It's a video game. Sure, it's an unfair mechanic that people can just abuse despite having no skill. Sure, it's unfair. But to bash people and just like exposing the bitterness inside of your heart towards random people online, that's weird, bro. That's weird. Go get a job. There's more things in life that are worth worrying about rather than just trying to heckle somebody online for using Swift Slash. So that's my 2 cents in regarding to, you know, the state of PvP and how the meta is always changing, but yet the developers have no sense of discernment in regards to what they put in the game being fair or unfair towards the PvP player base. Because sure, I'm enjoying my playthroughs of the DLC, but I'm more of a PvP oriented person. So the fact that they have zero regard for these kinds of players makes me sad. So yeah, I just wanted to showcase this as the last invasion to show that Swift Slash needs, I mean not Swift Slash, but Blind Spot needs to be nerfed. Like, you should not have hyper armor the moment you go into it. I think maybe you can open a little bit more distance to when going in for that one attack, but I don't know, it's just it's broken, man. It's broken and it makes me upset, but it is what it is. We're just gonna have to deal with it. But that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, making it this far. None of y'all do that, but like 5 of you. Anyways, thank you, the 5 of you, for being here. Here are the stats. Here's the fashion as well. Here's the weapons that I could have used, but I didn't because this is supposed to be an off-stock setup. But yeah, here's my talismans. Here's all my fun stuff. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Scrub, and I will see y'all in the next video. Enjoy whatever you're going to do after you're done watching this video, whether that's going to go walk outside, touch some grass, pet a dog, who cares? Go do something good, and good will be given back to you. Okay, I love you. Be good. Bye.